Hey everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Herd. If it's your first time here and you're enjoying the content, hit subscribe. If you want to get notifications for when we go live, tap the bell. And if you want to get connected with our UVH fam, hit the links below to our free options trading group along with our Discord. We're almost at 1,500 members on our trading group and almost 500 in our Discord. If you're here right now, say what up. I see, let's see who's in here. FC, we got Matthew, Jose, Nelson, Jeff. What's going on, guys? How you guys doing? How you guys living? Yeah, so I mean, this week has been a bit unexpected. You know, volatility. Yesterday we did a video regarding, you know, is volatility back into the market? And, you know, VIX is at like the 16s right now. VIX was at, you know, VIX reached a high of, let me make some changes over here. VIX reached a high of 18 this morning and then just been kind of declining, you know. But the good news is I think that two-sided action is re-entering the market, which I think, you know, for us options traders is really good. Unexpected, Tyler, understatement of the year. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about the low volatility for a while, and low volatility can go on for months, many months, could go on for weeks, days. I mean, we were low volatility. We were going on like month 2 of low volatility until it started to kick in there, like on the VIX. I mean, we were in the 13s. I mean, it was not good. Volatility, low volatility for options trading, it just makes it really hard. You got to be, there's not as many opportunities, and you really have to, you know, you really have to be disciplined in what you trade. And then when we were experiencing some super high volatility, that just got immediately, you know, it got crushed. And I wouldn't say immediately, but it got crushed ever since like the start of the year. It just got crushed and getting smaller and smaller, which means, you know, when there's low volatility, it just means there's less opportunities in the market. When there's higher volatility, there's a lot of opportunities because stocks are moving, and you can make good trades. And if you make mistakes and there's enough time with higher volatility, it gives you time to be right. Hafiz, what's up? Question is, where have you been? You missed my stream yesterday. Just life. Hi, Mark. Hamed, how you doing? If you're here right now, say what up. If you made money today, comment got paid. If you lost money today, comment learned a lesson, because we all just try to learn, adapt, and grow. You know, even when you lose, you should take something away from it. Just be like, you know, don't just take like, oh, my account's less today. You know, every day, if you're losing today, you should look back and be like, what did I do today or this week? Yo, Samuel, reworks. First timer, green of the week, $4. Congrats on getting that back. Congrats. Today I was actually down $4, so basically flat for me. So I wouldn't say it was great. Wasn't bad. I really don't have complaints. Francis learned a 450 lesson. Ouch. Got paid. Yeah, on days like today where we're not expecting such volatility, you either get rewarded or you get hurt really bad. And for some reason, I was somewhere in the middle where nothing really happened to me. You know, nothing bad. However, I did have I guess the saving grace today was I had a square put. I had the 172.50 square put, and it was almost like near max loss yesterday. And, you know, square came down this morning. As you can see, it was $71. It reached the low of 71.10, and then, you know, ripped all the way up to like 74.40, which it closed at. Thankfully, I closed it this morning, and just, you know, I've said this many times before, but when I'm in a losing position, so let's say a max loss or 50 down 50% or 60%, let's say on a position, and the trade goes against me, doesn't go my way, when I get close to break even, I take that trade off. So I wasn't trying to make money, and in this instance, that discipline is like, some people would be like, oh, I waited this long, I'm gonna make sure that I squeeze everything out of it. And then if I did that, if I waited, I would have lost all of it. So thankfully, I stayed disciplined. I closed out my square trade. I think it cost me like $1.40, and I closed it out for 130. What did we close it out for today? 138. So I think I lost maybe like $5 or $6, but basically flat. Better than losing $140, you know. And then I had some trades on. GS and Roku, and then I averaged down on Tesla. So on Tim, what's going on? Nice to see you here. But I mean, I think volatility. I mean, the volatility I think is going to be good for the market if we can keep VIX between, let's just say on the low side 15 and 20 would be ideal. Like when we get down to like 13, 11, it's not good. Even like below, like even at 15 is not ideal for me. Rewards, I do average down if I still believe in the position. I did average down a Tesla call today, which I'll go over as well. That square play and execution procedure deserve to break even today. Yeah, with that kind of execution. So for those that are joining here, or you know, for the first time or are new here, for the last 2 months I've been in a rut. I'm going to be honest. Call it what you say. Call it what you want. I've been in a rut. I've been recording. I've been doing live trading since August or something. Live streaming, I mean. Not live trading, sorry. I've been live streaming since August. I've been trading way before that. But I've been winning pretty consistently. And then when January came, January and February, I've just been kind of stuck in this place. So end of February and beginning of March, I've been working on turning it around. And you know, it doesn't matter how good of a trader you are or how bad of a trader are. You know, eventually, like if you're winning a lot or if you're, you know, you get into a rut. And you know, some traders, they get into a rut. It may last a week, 2 weeks. It may last a month. It may last 2 months. For me, it's been about 2 months. So what you don't want to happen is that to become a pattern where you're red for the year. You know what I mean? Like you gotta push through. So, if you want to see some of my older videos, you can watch those too. It's also for me, what I did was the nice thing about the videos that I've recorded was I went back and I watched my videos and the trades that I did when volatility was low back in like September and stuff like that. I watched how I was winning trades and doing things, because sometimes as a trader, you lose your way. Like even if you're experienced, sometimes you drift off of your path. Like you may break your rules and stuff like that, but sometimes you kind of drift away from the pack. And sometimes you know when you start losing consistently, it means that you're not focused. You're not where you were. So you gotta kind of bring yourself, you know, back into alignment. That being said, GS. I actually had a GS position on yesterday. I don't think anyone was experiencing going to assume we were going to have this kind of volatility. I actually had a GS strangle on yesterday that I closed for a small loss. I had the 192.50 call and the 187.50 put. And this morning GS just skyrocketed. I thought we were going to have maybe just like a quick bump up and a drop. So I did buy the 190 puts on GS this morning because I thought we were going to revisit. Now this was a day trade. They were a small trade. I bought the first ones for 25 cents, the next ones for 10 cents because I thought that we were going to ultimately just kind of sell off, shorts will cover. We just kind of come back, revisit 190, 185 area even. Based on the way things were going, but that just, I mean, immediately just took off. And if you're looking, like, why did you put that trade on? You know, normally I strangle plays, but I probably should have strangled it anyways. But if you look at these 192.50s, I did share in the Discord. If you look at these 192.50s, What was it? Was it 192.50? For the 190 calls? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong week. Sorry. Yeah, it was the 192.50s I was looking at earlier. Let me show you how these worked out today. So, yeah, these are the ones. These today, it would have been. I mean, honestly, I didn't think that GS was going to skyrocket at. Even though SPY wasn't moving. I mean, SPY wasn't moving, but GS was tearing it apart. You know, these 192.50 calls today went as low as 18 cents, and they closed at 305. You know, up 1,200%. So if I strangled this, it would have been better. But the problem was, I don't normally, if I have a day trade, I don't normally strangle it because most times you lose money on the strangle. You know. But just kind of show you the power of options, you know, and this was kind of happening all over the board. Same with Roku. Roku I shorted as well. It was a small position, nothing major on Roku, but I had the 69.5s. I thought they were going to, what did I pay for this guy? I paid 24 cents. So thought it was going to come revisit. Looked like it was going to kind of do a fade. Something similar to what it has been, skyrocket and kind of fade. It did fade a little bit. It faded like, what did it fade? $1.50 or so. But the bulls, I mean, the bulls just came in strong, like really surprised. Was anybody here really surprised what the bulls were doing today? You know, at open, the 70 calls on Roku went from 10 cents all the way up to 2.15. They ended up closing red on the day, but I mean that's intense. That's insane. So there was a lot, you know, and this was many. You can look at a lot of different strikes. This was happening all across the board. So the market was not pricing in this volatility. I don't think anyone expected this volatility. Otherwise, I mean, people would be making. I'm not going to call it free money, but I mean, these are pretty easy gains that could have been had, but I was leaning towards the bearish side, which is, you know, why I'm down $4 today. But since those trades didn't work out, you know, I kind of just took my hands off the wheel and say, okay, well, sometimes when you're wrong, I was wrong on Roku, I was wrong on GS, then you just gotta stop and just say, okay, we're just gonna take it as it is. Let's enjoy the weekend. You know, we'll get back at it next week. Not a big deal. You know, if I was hitting those trades, then maybe I would have put a couple more on. But the thing is, you have to be careful of day trading on expiration day. Is you need movement, which we had movement today, but if you're new to trading, it's definitely dangerous. Billy, what's up? But some good movement in there. And then Tesla, I have the 340 calls for next week. My average right now is 48 cents. So I averaged down for 24 cents. Tesla, they have the Model Y announcement next week. They got hit with the consumer report issue a couple days ago, and then they got hit with the Model 3 imports. I'm sorry, Model 3 imports for China. And we've been talking about this a little bit because I've been holding this position. I've been adding to it here and there. If you look at my Tesla position here, I've been, you know, my first one cost me 86 cents. Then it cost me 35 cents on a couple days ago, 3.5, and then oh, you can't see that. Sorry. Let's fix my screen here. So the first one I bought on 3.4 cost me 86, and then 3.5 cost me 35 cents, and then today cost me 24 cents. My average right now is 48-ish cents. And if you notice the trend here, if anybody's been trading Tesla, I've traded Tesla a lot over the last few years. You know, it definitely is range bound. It definitely you can make decent money in here. We've made good money in here quite a few times, but you know, when it has these major drops and major rips up, you have to be patient with it. As you can see, it definitely consolidated down in this area for a couple weeks before ultimately moving up on earnings. You know, earnings was the catalyst here, what kind of broke it out here. You know, right now my goal is for it to revisit like 310, 320 area, ideally, and then get out. I mean, I'm not looking for it to go all the way to 340 or anything like that by any means. But right now for Tesla, I'm just trading the ranges. You know, same with down here. This came up a lot quicker. I don't actually know what the catalyst was here. The problem is like looking back at Tesla's chart and seeing these big gap ups and gap downs, it's hard to remember all the catalysts of what took it there. Like some of them were like car crashes, and some of them was like, you know, Elon tweeting. Like this one was like, what was the one saying Elon was tweeting to like 420 and then it fell apart? Was it? I think it was here, when I hit 387 over the summer. He tweeted it was like 420, funding secured or whatever, and that didn't go so well, obviously. But you know, if you know anything about Tesla, looking at it, you know, for the last couple of years, been trading in the range, had the breakout from 178, and then ever since then just been basically between 240 and 390 ish area. You know. Anyway, so we'll go into enough about me, enough about the questions. Let's talk about SPY. Let's talk about any stocks you guys want to look at. Let's get some action going here. Everyone's so quiet today. But drinking some water today. Don't even have any Coke. BA. Okay, yeah. The question is, buy the dip or no? The Dow, we've been down. SPY's been down 1, 2, 3, 4. This was the 5th red day. Dariana, Felix, what's going on? The one thing that I think was interesting here is, you know, this dip here on SPY, like it doesn't really make a dent in the whole picture. You know, it's not like it came down to here. We weren't shedding that. There goes my KO stock. Yeah, I drink Coke on pretty much every stream, except for today. You know, I think honestly for me the 270 level would have been a lot better. It did kind of touch down there today. I mean, it hit 272.42, which is like the low 270s. That run up killing me. But I think right now people are confused. You know, because it makes sense. It really does make sense. We had the rejection up here. It was kind of sitting up here, the 280s, 281. We had the rejection. It's taking it down. Now, people are anticipating that we go down to like 270, 265 area. You know, definitely 265 area would be more ideal, and then 260 we've bounced back. So are we trading? The question is, are we trading in the 260 to 280 range again? If so, you know, that would be ideal, especially for us options traders, because we know what to do here. It's range bound. When we're range bound, we can make money pretty easily, right? We can make money pretty easily. However, when it touched 280 here, I was hesitant to go full short because it wasn't getting like rejected that quickly. It was just kind of like sitting there, and I was afraid that we were going to have like a slow grind back up because volatility was low. So I was afraid that we were going to have like a slow grind up to 285, then back up to 290s, kind of like in this area. But right now, we had the rejection, but then you look at the price action today. If you shorted yesterday, you were rewarded. If you bought the dip today, you were rewarded on most stocks, especially like on Alibaba, Netflix just ramped up at the end there. Tesla had a Citron. Andrew left. I mean, this was nuts. Tweeted that they upgraded. They were looking to have, what was the tweet? I don't remember. It was, anyways, I can't find it right now. Citron Research. upgraded it to 320. And I don't really know why people pay attention to Andrew Left as much as they do, but it doesn't really matter. They do. You know. Here we go. Here we go. So the catalyst, you know, Tesla moved $7 within minutes. They're saying Citron expects Tesla back to 320. Critics have consistently been proven wrong, as Musk has done more this week than most do in a lifetime. Who is the real deal in this argument? Can't wait for the Model S, which I don't. Is he talking about the Model Y? What is this? Over the years, Citron has clearly not been a fan of Tesla, and we doubt Elon Musk will be the CEO for the next 10 years. Citron is also not a fan of his disrespect for the SEC. And we have no doubt that he is guilty of a few Reg FD violations. And yes, we are still suing for the 420 tweet. So if you guys don't know, Andrew Left and Citron Research, they were heavily short Tesla. And when Elon tweeted the 420 tweet, funding secured, they got beat up. And they're still pissed about that. That's what. If you're not sure what that means, that's what they're talking about here. You know, it's unfortunate. You think you could leave you think that in the stock market you could just like trade the numbers and stuff like that and leave the drama behind, but Tesla's a very drama-induced stock here. But the volume of misinformation that comes through our computer on a daily basis has become breathtaking, and the vocal shorts and critical media in this name have gone too far in their demonizing of Elon Musk. We are not here to pick fights with anyone, and we always respect solid work, but let's state the obvious on many of the vocal critics whose voices dominate the Tesla conversation. Again, we were short the stock for several years and remain the lead plaintiff in suing Musk for his 420 tweet. However, his critics are over their skis. So, sounds like, based on this, you could read I'm not going to go through the full report. This is just the thing. You can go on that over your own time. Look it up, citronresearch.com, if you want. But, sounds like, yo, Baron, no problem, man. Sounds like they got really squeezed. They got really squeezed on the 420 tweet, and they probably crapped their pants and closed their positions for a ginormous loss. And now they're going long and trying to make that money back, I would assume, because their lawsuit's not guaranteed to pay out anything. Like, they're the major plaintiff on the case, but you know, it's up to a judge to decide, and a lot of information. It could take years. It could take years until he sees a dime, or if he sees anything, he may just waste a lot more money in legal fees. Who knows? So when watching or taking information like that from analysts or people that have agendas, like Andrew Left has an agenda. You know, you have to understand that. These analysts, they have an agenda. CNBC, they have an agenda. Jim Cramer, whether you love him or hate him, he has an agenda. Everyone has an agenda. When I put a trade on, I have an agenda. When you put a trade on, you then have an agenda. And all these people that are talking about the market, including myself, as soon as you put a trade on, whether you say you don't have an agenda or whatever the case is, you do have an agenda, because now you have interest. You have an interest in the stock market, or whatever it is. So, you know, you talking about the stock market, or whoever talking about the stock market, whether you're right or you're wrong, you know, Andrew Left, he's got interest in this. So when people would send me messages like, hey, I was thinking about, you know, this guy said this upgraded to a buy, or this is a sell, or this is a sell. You got to think for yourself in this case, you know. You got to think for yourself. And I know they don't teach this in like schools and everything like that, but you got to really think for yourself, and you got to determine, hey, is this the truth? Is this a lie? What's this guy about? What's, you know, even ask these questions about me, like, what am I saying? Is it true? Like, fact check me. You know, I'm fine with that. Say I'm wrong in the chat. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I can be wrong. I'm wrong on my trades. I'm right on my trades. You know, we're all kind of in this together. But, you know, for people that make the market move. So when that came out, this thing went from 281 to 285, back down to 280, and then back up. You know what I mean? So whether you like Andrew Left or not, when he tweets something, it moves the market. So just so you know, so I actually do set up, I don't like it. I actually unfollowed Trump from Twitter just because they couldn't take it anymore. But I have notifications on for Citron research tweets, so it might help you out in the future. I don't actually trade off of those. I just look at it because it kind of helps you understand. It kind of helps you understand if you have a position on it. I wasn't understanding why the stock was moving so quickly, and I thought it was news induced, and it was, and I just quickly found the news because I was subscribed to his Twitter. Sounding you're wrong. Our agenda should be to have no agenda. Yeah, Sam, you say that. You say it's not that easy. So, like, let's say, well, for us, our agenda doesn't really matter, right? Like, when I'm put on a position, our agenda doesn't really matter. But for someone like Citron Research or Warren Buffett or people like that, when they put a position on and they have an agenda, You know, that's why there's people that do PR, public relations for these companies, because they have an agenda to protect their image. They have an agenda to make their stock go up. They have an agenda to protect their investments. Yeah, I just wait for the important ones to come through CNBC. I have the CNBC alerts on, but you gotta sift through those too. Decimal, yeah. Elon Musk will destroy Citron. We need more Elon and less Andrew Left. Yeah, I mean, never mind. I'm not gonna say it. Sometimes you gotta filter yourself, because sometimes especially when it's public, you know, you might say something you might regret about somebody, and that's not. I don't want the negativity to. I want this to be a positive place and not a negative place. And anyways, Boeing. PCG. Okay, so I'm going to look at Samuel. I'll look at Boeing. Sam, Guyman, PCG. And who was the other one? What, Amazon. Rewards just bought Orange Vanilla Coke Zero. Terrible. I can't see how that would be good. Orange Vanilla Coke Zero. Baron, it's Andrew Left. Left as in like left hand. Now, Boeing has been on a massive run, and they just... The reason why is, well, they had good earnings, but they've been landing contracts in Vietnam, and they're getting a lot of. They've got, what they get, like 3 or 4 within this run as well. Within the last month, they got like 3 contracts to sell billions of dollars worth of planes. The problem that I have with it is I do like to play these, you know, 52-week highs, 52-week lows charts. The problems that I have with it is that if it becomes stagnant, you know what I mean? But Boeing could continue to go up, you know? You know, I've traded a lot, but I mean, if you look the last couple of years, I mean, it's just crazy. From 173 up to 446. However, they are impacted by the trade news. So that's the problem right now. Like, I really think that we need to clear up this trade thing, because it really, I think you second guess yourself a lot, you know, because if you're just trading the numbers in the charts, you can just trade the charts. But when there's trade news and stuff like that, you always have this little voice in the back of your head. It's like, hey, what if this happens? you're going to get really screwed. You know what I mean? And it's happened. It's happened, or it's worked in your favor where, you know, we're trading BABA and you're down money, and then Trump tweets something and you're back in the green. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, I haven't been trading Boeing, and I haven't been exposing myself to it. I've been trading BABA and FXI, stuff like that to get on the Chinese tariff news. But Boeing, I mean, it went from 292 to 446. Great earnings, and it just, the problem I have, I talked about it yesterday, is like, do these companies deserve to be worth this much? These market caps. We talked about this for a long time yesterday. If you missed the stream yesterday, go check out yesterday's stream. Like, you know, and we talked about bubbles and the markets, and I think I scared some people saying that the market could go down 50%. Not saying it will, but could. It really could. So for me, if I was going to make a position on Boeing, I'm sorry, I would think that would come back into its range, probably like 360 area. But right now the market's irrational. Is it unrational or irrational? I think it's irrational. We're slipping here. FXI today, not good. Down 30. Not good. Down 30. But I didn't touch it. Yeah, irrational, not unrational. Yo, excellent. I didn't touch FXI. I was thinking about averaging down a little bit, but I just didn't do it. I'm just gonna wait and see. Yeah, sorry guys. I caught it though. I caught it. You know, let's see here. Amazon PCG. Don't worry, I misspoke, but I corrected myself. Man, Amazon 1586 to 622. Now I think what will be interesting is they bought the dip hard today, still closed red on a lot of the stocks, right? Even though a lot of them are green. I mean, my watch list was all red this morning, and now a lot of them are green. Yeah, Ben, I agree. You know, right now, Amazon's just been chilling in range. It's been going between 1,600 and 1,700. So if you're trading Amazon, nice range. It's really tight. But the one thing that you have to be worried about, when the range gets tight, it's on the verge of breaking out or breaking down. You know, so which way are we gonna go? We thought we were gonna have a nice breakdown. Could have gone to like 1,500 today. I mean, not today. Well, maybe it could have been. I mean, they've had 100+ point day losers in recent memory. I mean, I thought today, the way it was set up, looked like we were going to have an easy 500 down Dow day. What's going on, Kit? Playing on news or earnings works one time or more, but not in the long term. Yeah, agreed. So I think right now it's very range bound. If anything, just trade the chart. We're going to go to 16. Bounce to 1,700. You know, just you got to be patient with it. If volatility gets crushed again, then, you know, the one thing that you got to be careful about today is, or the last couple of days, is volatility expanded, right? And if volatility, like the VIX, starts to go down, and even though Amazon, let's say you bought calls, even though Amazon is going your direction, it's going to get harder to make money because you're going to get the IV crush. Your options are going to be worth less, even though the stock is moving in your favor. So, would you say this is a good time for someone new to start the market, or a terrible time? I don't think it's ever a bad time. I think that I would think that right now would probably be a better time than it was like last month. You know what I mean? But the one thing is, like, when you start trading, you don't want to just like follow the herd, follow the pack. It's kind of like what us versus herd in the back is about. Like, you don't want to just buy calls because the market's going up. You don't want to just buy puts because the market's going down. You know, you have to have some sort of reason for it. You know, otherwise, because when the trends stop, like today, SPY, everything was going down. GS, Roku, stuff that I was trading was going up and didn't come back down. You know, same with, I think Google came back today too. Now, Google's chart looks more bullish to me because they keep making these higher lows. So 977, 1149. And today, nice two-sided action. So when you are trading options, we need two-sided action. You know, Tesla, this is not very two-sided. I mean, it is in a way, but not as good as this. You know, went from 1130 up to 1152, back down to the 30s, back up to the 50s. You know, so that makes a really good range to trade. I think Apple, PCG. I think PCG is a stock that just nobody understands, and you just got to, you can't get in its way because it's 80% institutional owned, and you can't get in their way. They're gonna crush your little $100 trades. You know what I mean? I actually have the 20 strike call still, so I'm hoping it pushes above 20. You know, personally, but it looks like to me it wants to fill the gap. Rewards, thank you for the $10. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, Ben. That happens. That happens whether you're. Ben says the worst time to start trading is when things are going overly well and you think you're better than the market. But that could be at any point in time, whether you're just doing good or the market's doing good or doing bad. Like, you could just be hitting. I mean, there's times that I'm hitting trades left and right, and to be honest, you kind of feel a certain way. You're like, man, I'm doing very well. I don't know why I'm doing very well, but every trade I seem to be hitting. And the market may be going every direction. It doesn't really matter. But you could be hitting it very well. Right now, not so much. You know? So I think it's always good to like check yourself, and if you're ever feeling like arrogant and feeling that type of way, that the market, you have to know with experience, you know this, but if you don't have the experience and you think that you're doing very well, the market is going to come and humble you whether you want it to or not. You know, the market will change, the strategy that you're applying will need to change, and those things don't always coincide at the same time because, hey, how do I know when to change my strategy? When you start losing. When you start losing consistently. You got to take a look in the mirror, look at your trades, go back and say, hey, why am I losing? Why am I winning? I'm winning. Am I winning because I'm getting lucky? Like, news events happen while I'm holding the position? Is it happening because I'm moving with the market, not fighting the market? You know, it could be for a variety of reasons. You know, some people get really lucky based on, like, they may be having a full loser. It's happened to me where you have a full loser and news comes out with that stock, the stock explodes or goes down or whatever the case is, and you're up like 2,000%, and that had nothing to do with your ability to trade. You were just in a position and the stock moved while you had the position on. Doesn't mean you're a good trader. Doesn't mean you're a bad trader. It just means you didn't do anything for it. It means your original trade idea didn't work out and you're bag holding, and you know. But that's also why you need like occurrences. So, you know, if you want things that people are like, oh, how do you get the 1,000% movers or 2,000% movers? You know, it's not that you set yourself out to make 1,000%. It's that you base it on the number of occurrences. Like, day in, day out, you're trading. You're putting on a position here, putting on a position here, and over time you accumulate positions, whether they work out or not or whatever. But based on occurrences, you'll take off a position for 50% winner, take it off for 20% win, maybe take it off for 20% loss, that kind of thing. But the more occurrences that you have, the more opportunities that you have that, hey, you can move when there's a news-based event. Like there's a chance, because I always have a position on, there's a good chance that when a trade resolution happens, or if a trade resolution doesn't happen, or when that news comes out, I'll have a position on that I'll be able to take advantage of that. But to time the market, I talked about this as well, to time the market, you'll never be able to time the market. You'll never be able to get it 100% right. You'll never be able to figure out when Tesla is going to do something. You'll never be able to figure out when PCG is going to move up to 20. You could have an idea, and then you need to have an exit plan if that doesn't work out, and then have a exit plan for when to take profits. Like what a lot of people do when they're trading is, hey, I'm up 200%. Should I take the money? Well, that means you didn't have a exit plan for when you were making money. That's all it means. And yes, if you're up 200%, you should definitely take it. Was that SPY at the end of the day and abnormally? It was a huge jump, seemingly for no reason. Yeah, I mean, I think that we need more data to determine that. Is this? We were declining all week, but we had some two-sided action all week, but ultimately ended lower. I mean, went from 281 down to 272. But can we come back next week and win? If you go back in past charts here, lost for a couple weeks, won for a week, lost for a couple weeks, won for a week, lost for like 3 weeks, won for 2 months. So you gotta figure out what the rotation is of the market. What is the market going to be? And thankfully we're getting some bigger candles now, because it was a struggle up in here, like in here, these little tiny candles not really doing a whole lot. If a China trade deal goes through, does gold drop? That's a good question. I guess it depends if more money will be flowing into stocks or commodities. And my question is, if a trade resolution happens, is that going to be enough at these levels? Is that going to be enough for the market to continue to go up? So Trump wants a trade deal to happen because it's going to be good for his re-election chances. If he can't make a deal and we're struggling politically and all this turmoil and everything like that, like when you're in these debates, he's going to get shredded. And whether he got shredded in the past or not really, it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Because he made it through. But it's a lot easier to do that when you have less distractions, So I want the trade deal to happen so that way we can get that off our plate and the market can start doing what it needs to do and start focusing. I mean, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but over the last, let's say 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, maybe even like 8 months, we have stopped talking about companies. Like we have stopped talking about what the companies are doing. It's all about politics. It's all about news. It's all about what's going on. Today we went down because we had a terrible job report, one of the worst job reports, and then we had an issue with home values not rising, and then we had an issue with this. But everyone's focused on this China trade deal like it's the holy grail. Like if we get that resolved, we're gonna go to SPY is gonna go to 500. Like we've had a 10-year bull run, and well, last year was red, so I guess I don't know if you want to count that as not, but the chances of 2019 being red after coming off a red year is rare, but I'm not gonna say it's not gonna happen. A China trade resolution will probably have an influence of gold, but I don't think it's a direct correlation. Trump tweet of the day: markets will skyrocket when the deal is done. All right. Buy your puts. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I think that everything's just like a Band-Aid right now, and we're not like, why are these companies valued here? Are they selling more stuff, things that they did last time? Are the profits growing? I mean, unemployment's at a record low. I mean, that stuff's all good. Everything's all good there, but I just don't like, if we're focusing on politics and we're not focusing on these companies. Apple, Samuel, Apple. Now, Apple hasn't been able to recover. I mean, it is up. It is up from its lows of 142, but this 180 area, I think, is going to be trouble. And I think that we actually haven't talked about Apple in a while. And they had good earnings, even though they lowered the guidance on the earnings. So they took a hit up front, right in here. They took a hit, and then so earnings weren't as bad. So call it what you want, shenanigans, whatever. That's what happened. And then just been flat here. So I think Apple really needs a catalyst to move itself higher. I mean, it's a very expensive stock, and if there's a decline, which there has been, like iPhone sales, I mean, they sell, like, iPhone is their main business. It's what they do. It's the majority of their business. They don't sell enough Macs. They don't sell enough iPads to carry them. Their service business is not going to carry them. So everything's like on the iPhone, which is very scary to think that if people don't like the iPhone anymore, what are they going to do? Are they going to move on? It's going to be like, the Motorola Razr one day. The Motorola headquarters is a few miles from my house, and where I live, it's not far. And Motorola used to be this sprawling campus, and now they're down to like one little building. You know what I mean? And they're just like doing government contracts. Trade deal probably makes Scott hit by tariffs skyrocket. Yeah, and I think like the Chinese stocks like Baba are definitely undervalued, and they're not fairly evaluated based on what the company is doing. The more Kit, like the smash button. We got a dislike. Can we get some more dislikes in the chat? Apple Car's coming. Yeah, I don't know, but it doesn't matter. They need something like now, So I think that's the problem, that like companies, they want to make a good product like Apple, but Apple can decline for a few years. Apple can decline for. I mean, they got enough money to withstand a drought. I mean, they can handle it, but I tend to think it will be the sell the news event. Oh, also this week, what happened was the ECB lowered guidance for 2019, I believe, and they said that we'll start picking up at the end of 2019. So that was not good either. So that's why we kind of get impacted by that. I think Apple shares definitely under pressure. They're smart to offer their employees the right prices to keep them buying it up. Yeah, as long as they don't lay them off, right? As long as they stay employees. I read a report that more people are buying older smartphones like 6, 7, 8 than the new versions. Yeah, I mean, I bought the new one. I have the 10S. Or you want to call it XS? I don't know. I don't know what the correct verbiage is, but it's either XS or 10S. I've heard both. It's okay. I replaced my iPhone 7 Plus, and really the only thing that's good about it is, I mean, it has Face ID, a little bit better screen, but I didn't necessarily need, it wasn't like my phone was running slow. So most people that are upgrading that already have a phone is, one, because they're, a millennial with a shattered screen, or they lost it got stolen. It's not because the phones were running slow, and it's rare someone's going to have, I got the iPhone 5. I haven't run into a single person that had, an iPhone 5, or even, I think I know one person that has an iPhone 6, and he just got his battery swapped out for, $20, So the iPhone 6 is still not even running that bad. So why would you upgrade if you don't need to and spend the money? I mean, it's like $1,200, $1,500 for these phones. Is it worth it? Apple are always 10 years ahead. They don't care about the stock. I hope so. Hope Tim Cook is 10 years ahead. Hope Tim Apple's 10 years ahead. He can solve his problems. but he needs Tim Apple did say that they're working on some products that are gonna bet it. What was his lingo? It was like he was gonna bet it all. I don't know. Tim Apple doesn't seem like the type that's gonna go high risk on you. He's a very calculated, very analytical person, but it could happen. So. What's going on, George? If you're new here, you're watching in the background, say what up. Yeah, Tim Lanigan's got a 6. Someone trading on Robinhood on their iPhone and then throws it against the wall. Yeah, if your trades aren't working on Robinhood, the best way is to delete the app and reinstall it. It'll be profitable. Someone trading on is legit the new name. You change the trade. Yeah, Tim Apple. He embraced it. I've been background chilling today. See you in the back, FC. See you in the back. So for next week, going into next week, I didn't open up a lot of positions. You know, Thursday, I'm going to be leaving to Mexico. We're going to get out of these frigid weathers. Frigid weather. Man, I cannot talk today. Weathers. Oh my gosh. Frigid weather. -50, -20 degrees here. Done with it. So I'm going to be leaving Thursday through, and I'll be back on Monday. Next Monday. So I'll be trading Monday through Wednesday. Edwin, what's going on? Use Tastyworks and Thinkorswim on my primary platforms. What do I think about Netflix? Apple is swayed by early adopters and die-hard loyalists. That base will probably dwindle slowly without great innovations. We'll see. I agree with you. They haven't put anything new out in a while, but that doesn't mean they won't. There were a lot of haters when before they dropped the iPhone, and then the iPhone changed the world. So, however, they did have a genius visionary, which they no longer have. So, you know, Netflix, the same as what was it, Amazon? It's just stuck. I mean, you look at this chart and you're like, well, that's not that crazy, right? But then when you look at the swings here, 362 down to 342, like, wow, that's crazy. Like, so that's why it's very misleading. That's why I like to compare. Like, I look at the 15-minute charts on the 5-day, and then I compare that with the yearly to kind of see where it's at, because you need context. Like, this doesn't seem like, oh, well, Netflix is not moving, move it on. But then when you look at the intraday, I mean, this is nice action this week. 363 to 342. Thanks, George. Appreciate it. So, yeah, these day trade charts keep popping up, but I've been scaling back from the day trade. So in January, I said, hey, I'm going to hit these day trades left and right, and it was the wrong time to do it. So I've been going back to my strategies that I've had in September, in August, in July of 2018 when volatility was low, and that seems to be getting me out of this rut. And now that volatility is returning, I'll look at my videos from November and October and December. FC's looking to swing it next week. So on Netflix, so next week, the thing is, if you're buying options, you might want to sell options in here. It's looking at a $13 swing, and yes, it did move $20 from high to low, but the chances that you're going to hit it perfectly are not good. So, you know, when it had a $20 move this week, you would probably maybe hit 10 of it, right? So if you're going to hit 10 of it and the expected price, the movement is plus or minus 13, it means options are going to be a little bit pricey for you for next week, which they are. So depends on what you're looking to do. Are you looking to do like some in the money plays, that are more expensive. You're looking to have more speculative play that's kind of out here. You know, there's a lot of different ways to trade options. There's a lot of different ways to make money trading options. Like some people say, like you can only make money doing this. Like that's not true. You can make money. There's hundreds of ways. They're kind of like Legos. You can. Everyone has access to all the same pieces, but people build it completely different. Like my trades are probably completely different than yours, which it should be because we're all unique individuals. We all handle risk differently. We all handle the news differently. We all handle the market differently. 322 spec play. Yeah, if you're gonna do a spec play, you know, let's say you want. Let's see here. 322. Let's see. Theta is about 15 cents. Yeah, I mean, if you want to do maybe like the 380s, I would probably be looking at the 380s, and then if it came back up to like 360, see delta. The one thing you get, the delta will be 10. So if it goes from 350 right now to 360, you'll make about $100. So that'll be 100% if it goes up. So that might not be a bad spec play. The 10 deltas, the 10 delta there. The 14s don't really seem worth it. Let's see what the following week is here. 380s, yeah, only 16 delta on those. So yeah, actually, I think the 380 10 delta 380s for you could probably get these. Last price was 89 cents. You could probably get these for, let's see what the movement was on these guys today. So these had a high of 415, came down to 76 cents. So, you know, I think if it goes up to 360, I mean, this will probably be worth $1.89-ish area, maybe $2. I mean, it depends if the IV crush or not. $1.60 maybe. But, I mean, going from 90 cents to $1.60, that's a great return. You know, you could let it run, but I don't think you would do that, you know. I think it's a good position. Not bad. Anyways, we're coming up on the hour. If you liked the video so far, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. If it's your first time here, you like the content, hit subscribe. If you want to get connected with the UVH fam, hit our Discord link below. Also, our free options trading group is on Facebook. You guys try to have a good weekend. Take it easy, relax. I'm about to go I'm gonna get some. My brother's birthday today, so we're gonna have some seafood. Stay safe, stay green. It's always us versus her.